At £410 and being 51 years old, I realised that to a large extent and purposes, I was living on borrowed time. I dodged a bullet for the first 50 years of my adult life. I'd suffered with a binge eating disorder since my teens and hadn't really done anything sustainable about it. So I decided it is time to make a complete lifestyle change. Now, in terms of being on borrowed time and dodging the bullet, it's fair to say that I was lucky. I've had no cardiac event, which is a distinct possibility when you're morbidly obese. I haven't developed type 2 diabetes. By the grace of God, more by luck than anything else. I have tested for a fatty liver at times, but the liver function has never been so high to be dangerous. So I dodged a bullet. And really that comes down to a life of making too many bad choices. And I have to admit it. Yes, there's a binge eating disorder, and that does underpin a lot of those bad choices. Some of it, some may say, is a lack of self-discipline. A lot of it is a deep underlying psychological aspect to my life and to my personality. Somewhere in between, I guess, there's the truth of what caused me to gain so much weight, to become so desperately unhealthy. I didn't really feel unhealthy. There's lots of things which I couldn't do as I gained weight, and it wasn't an instantaneous, I'm 410 pounds. The weight gain went on over years. And you get into this psychology, well, I'm fat anyway, so what difference does it make? And a lot of that is unconscious, but you still make those decisions. So, life of bad choices. And I'll give you some examples. There was a time, more than a decade ago, and this is probably the lowest ebb, when I was living and working on Merseyside in England. And I would drive to work at 7:30, and I'd leave the house earlier than I had to. And I would stop off at a drive-through McDonald's on the way to work. And at the drive-through McDonald's, I would have 2 breakfasts. The sausage and egg McMuffins with extra hash brown and coffee, times 2. And I'd eat that on the way to work. I'd get to work. I'd have my lunch at work. Fairly regular lunch, but nothing healthy. I wasn't making good choices. Maybe chips with something greasy. Not good choices. But where even a bigger problem than a McDonald's breakfast would come in was on the way home. And habitually, I would stop at a local convenience store or the filling station. And I would fill up a bag with pies, crisps, chocolate, biscuits, whatever took my fancy that day. The most unhealthy foods you can possibly imagine. And I would drive and park. And I would binge. I'd eat it all till I felt uncomfortable. And somehow that short-term rush that I would get from eating took away some sort of stress within the moment. But of course, I didn't feel good 5 minutes later. And I'd go home and have to pretend everything was normal. I'd go home and eat a tea, eat supper, eat dinner, whatever you want to call it. And that was my life. Now, I didn't always stay in that, and when I left Merseyside, I went to live in Malawi in southern Africa, and I think my eating became a lot more stabilised and better, but I was drinking too much. I lived a lifestyle with friends where I'd be out after work every evening, and I think rather than binge eat, I was just drinking too much, to the extent that some of the calorific value to the beer that I was drinking became the problem. So that was more of the problem really than the food. But this is where I thought, I need to make some lifestyle changes. And I didn't then. I kind of drifted through then for a few years. I guess in some ways the lifestyle was more normal, but I still overate and I still drank too much. Never really thought I had an alcohol problem. There's kind of a psychological addiction that if I had 1 or 2 drinks, I'd always have to have more. But it wasn't like I'd always have to be out drinking. It wasn't like I was addicted to alcohol in the normal sense. Maybe I was, but anyway. So I drifted through that, and then when I met my wife, things became more stable, but still overindulging. And still didn't find the motivation. And what really kind of motivated me is when my children came along. And yes, I should have made the changes early on when my first son was born 6 years ago, or my daughter was born 3 years ago. But then when the third baby came, somehow the penny dropped. And a year ago, I made the decision that I had to choose life. And it was literally a case of choosing life. If I want to see my children grow up, if I want to see them go to college, maybe even get married, I'm going to be in my 70s then. So I'm not going to live that long if I'm morbidly obese. Now I've got a chance. Now that I've lost 160 pounds almost, I'm getting there. I'm getting to the stage where I'm just a regular fat guy, as my wife would say. And I'm still continuing the weight loss journey, and I'll keep plugging away. And it's going really well. But it took me a long time to make that decision. So eventually, I made the decision to adopt a total food replacement diet. Very low calorie diet, it's also known. And I got the products from a company called Slim and Save in England. And I started on the diet on the 12th of July of 2021. And I've been on that diet subsequently, still on it. So the total food replacement diet induces the ketotic state. So once you're in ketosis, I'll go into the science of it, but you start to burn fat really quickly. So you get instantaneous weight loss results. Now, some people say, that's not going to be sustainable. And I understand all that. But I needed to see dramatic results because I know the psychology behind it and behind my own mental state, that I needed to see it in order to be able to push on and to have success. So I lost about 10 pounds in the first week, and that was it. That was the inspiration. Then I was losing 4 or 5 pounds in a week for the first month or so. And then it slowed down to 2 or 3 pounds. Now it's a pound or two a week, but I'm consistently losing weight. Every week I will lose weight. And that keeps me going. It sustains me. But total food replacement is not going to work for everybody. It does take a lot of willpower and resilience, and you persevere with it. The food probably doesn't taste nice in the beginning, but now I kind of like it. I've got used to it. My taste buds have adjusted. And I just plug on with it. So for 13 weeks, I didn't do anything else but the total food replacement products. Some of them are powders you mix with water. You also have the bars that they sell, which I take one of them in the morning for my breakfast. And you can make shakes as well, which you consume as a liquid. And they're quite tasty, particularly in hot weather, they're really good. So that's what I've been using. So the first 13 weeks, stuck to it. Drank a lot of water, an awful lot of water, 3-4 litres a day at least, because you kind of have to really, really increase your liquid intake. Stay hydrated and really well hydrated. To be fair, you should be anyway, but a lot of people don't really kind of consider their water content. So 13 weeks, and then you take a break. So the break is not coming off the diet as such, but you move away from the total food replacement products and you eat regular food. But you eat regular food which is very low in carbohydrates. So for me, that'll be a lot of fish, seafood, or vegetarian products, because I don't eat meat. But that's not really for health issues, that's more for environmental issues. In brackets, animal agriculture is damaging the planet to an incredible extent, close brackets. The reintegration of food is good, stabilizes, normalizes the body. And also as times go on, I do that more regularly now. So it was initially after 13 weeks, and I probably waited again, probably another 10 weeks or something, and then had some food. Definitely around Christmas time, I had a more normal diet. A lot of salads and a lot of vegetables with those products I mentioned. And I think that really helps with the sustainability, because you're rebuilding a relationship with food while still using total food replacement in other times. And I've never had a problem going back to the total food replacement after having become more normal diets. So reintegrating food has been really important, and I do it more frequently now. So once a month I'll reintegrate regular food. I also adopted a healthy lifestyle. Now, at 30 stone, the 410 pounds, I was not really comfortable to do exercise. That's why I had to lose the weight dramatically to integrate exercise. But then I started dancing, dancing with my family, dancing with my children, playing around dancing, not serious dancing, but just dancing. We play music on Alexa and just dance in the house, dance in the garden when the weather was nice. Because it's all activity, it's all exercise. And it's gentle enough exercise, builds up the heart rate, it's good cardio. So that worked for me and it was fun. And the fact that it was fun is something that helped me to maintain it. You know, I'm not someone who's really good at things which bore me. And I started to enjoy walking more. I started to do more and more walking. And again, with my kids, with my wife, we do a lot of walking around the countryside. And even on my own, I go out for walks. Because again, it's good, regular exercise, which gets the heart rate going to maybe 60-70% of the max, which is good for burning fat. So now I'm a year on from beginning my journey, almost literally a year. And I've lost considerable amount of weight and I feel much better. I feel much healthier. My mental health is much better. I'm not tempted to binge eat. I don't drink alcohol. That's another thing I did. I gave up alcohol as part of the diet and I feel so much better. It's changed. It's transformed my life completely. I can do things I couldn't do before. I can play on the floor with my kids. I can go up and down stairs without having to think about it. Now, getting up off the floor is easy now. I just jump up off the floor. I don't have to lever myself up using a chair or something else, you know. It's just changed my life. It's just dramatically changed my life. Everything from buying clothes now. I don't have to order clothes from specialist stores. I can buy things off the rack. I was 7XL, now I'm 2XL. And, you know, I'm gonna decrease as well still further. So, yeah, it's all good. I've been to a tailor and had my clothes adjusted so that they fit me. So particularly my work clothes, to rather buying a whole new wardrobe, that's a lot more costly. So just to kind of also, you know, for recycling the old clothes, I've just had them reduced. And yeah, it's just really gone well. I'm really happy with it. And I was, as I've said, I was the archetypal, stereotypical, morbidly obese fat guy. And somehow I managed to find the zone. I managed to find the willpower, the perseverance and the resilience. And I think other people can do it too. And it may be that total food replacement isn't the way for you. But if you find your own way, what works for you, what you know you can sustain, keep it up and don't let setbacks put you back. You know, some people will have them. I've been kind of really lucky that I've just stuck to the plan. But if you do fall off the wagon, just jump straight back on. Don't beat yourself up about it. Don't, oh no, I've messed up now. This is over. No, that was me before. That's where I dealt with dieting before. I know I've messed up now, I may as well have a pizza. But no, just get straight back on the horse and just carry on. You know, be resilient. And we've all got it in us. You can change habits in 21 days, so they say. So you can do it. So please, if you want more help, if you want more advice, if you think I can help you in any way, drop some comments in the comment boxes. You know, subscribe to the channel because I'm going to be making more of these videos as time goes on. Like it if there's anything I said which resonates with you. You know, like it as a support for my weight loss journey, but also if you think that some things that I say may be motivational. And thank you for listening.